Welcome to the tournament. We are continuing with Group 6. This time we have Gugath Plaguefather, Grease's Goldtooth, Krogar, Elspeth von Draken, Serena Katarine, Vlad von Karstein, Throt the Unclean, Morga, Malagor, and Burzak fighting for the top spot in Group 6. Guga's Plaguefather is going to be our first match we're going to watch for the opener, and he's also the highest ELO ranked Lord in the list that we have. So let's see if that holds up. He's going to be fighting against Vlad von Karstein. Should be an interesting matchup because Vlad has a lot of regeneration. He's a very decent melee lord, and Gugath obviously is one of the healthiest probably lord in the whole game. He doesn't have regeneration, which might help the other lords, but he is very, very strong, and he also debuffs them in nasty ways. So let's begin, and let's first of all compare the lords and see what's happening. Yeah, Vlad has 9,000 less health. That is a lot compared to Kugath. Also, Kugath is actually cheating a little bit. He's, as you can see, he's shooting. There's no way to turn this off, so he's going to be cheating in the tournaments. But I mean, like, what are you gonna do with the Nurgle, the chosen champion of Nurgle? Like, you gonna stop him? No, of course not. So we'll have to watch and see how this matchup goes. Vlad takes a lot of damage very quickly, and as you can see, he is debuffed by the Slime Trail, which is -5 melee attack, Pestilent Decay. He's also poisoned, so it's a very, very hard matchup for Vlad. His stats are getting demolished, especially the weapon strength is just not enough. And Kugath, yeah, he's slowly taking damage. He also has 9 melee defense, so he can also buff his melee defense with the Plaguefather's Oration, I think that was called. So his defense is very, very high all the time. He also has a lot of weapon strength, but I think the biggest problem is that he has a lot of health. Too much for Vlad, so there's no way Vlad is gonna take that, and a very easy victory for Kugath Plaguefather. The second match is gonna go the same way. So well done, Kugath 2-0 against Vlad, and let's go into the next match. Let's jump into the next match. This is Wurzek versus Tsarina Katarine. Should be a very easy victory for Tsarina because she has much better stats. If you compare them, Wurzek has 3,000 less health, a little bit more melee attack, but less weapon strength, and pretty much everything. And Tsarina Katarine is riding the Frost Worm. Now, I know a lot of people think this is a bad mount. I've tested it for Katarina, and it seems to be the best mount. It seems to be better than the Warbear, so Tsarina on the Frostworm wins against Tsarina on the Warbear, so this should be technically the best mount, but we'll see how that goes. Lots of damage to both sides actually, and they, like, proportionally wise, they seems to have taken the same amount of damage. Obviously, Tsarina uses Frostbite, which is useless in this type of fight, and yeah, let's speed this fight up a little bit and see how that goes. And Tsarina's taking a lot of damage from Wurzek. He's surprisingly a good fighter, I guess, because he has 53 melee attack and 25 melee defense. So he's hitting a lot. He's also getting hit a lot in return. And let's see if he has anything else. Yeah, he has 30% physical resistance. And Tsarina Katarine does not have magic attack, so probably that is helping Wurzek a little bit. And Tsarina is not doing too well in this matchup. Surprisingly, she has just 35 melee defense and not really a lot of armor. And I think the other issue with the Frostworm is that it's a very big mount. It just takes a lot of damage all the time. And let's see if Wurzek can capitalize on that. He seems to be doing a lot of damage to Tsarina. They also both are very close now. So Tsarina is at 2,600. Wurzek is also at 2,600. Let's see if they can finish each other off. Let's check if Wurzek has any... No, I don't think he has any abilities, but he also has this very powerful spell called Effigy of Dagit, and he can use that because, according to the rules, that is a spell you can use in melee, so he uses a spell on Tsarina Katarine. She's down to 1,000. Wurzek is still at 1,900. Tsarina is not doing too well. Let's see if she can maybe turn this around when she comes back from the, what is it called, by our blood, the unwavering Kislev ability. Let's see if she can. No, I don't think she can. Yes, Wurzek surprisingly takes the first match. Wow. Let's look at the second one and see if that goes any better. Alright, this is the second matchup between these two, and this time Serena Katarine is riding the War Bear. I think the issue was the first time that the Frostworm didn't have magical attacks, so that was a big oversight on my part. And the bear gives her magical attacks, so she takes a lot of damage very quickly. She's down to 2800 here. The bear doesn't seem to be helping her that much. Wurzak is still doing a lot of damage to Serena. Let's speed this up a little bit and see if maybe she can turn this around. Wurzak is down to 300, but Serena is at 1900, and things are not looking well for her. Wurzak uses his leadership buff just in case, because leadership is already getting very low for both characters. And I think his spell is just gonna come back very soon. Serena cannot really do much about that. She's already wavering. She's at 600. And Wurzak hasn't even used his powerful damage-dealing spell yet. So not really looking well for Serena, surprisingly. Even on the Warbear mount, which seems to be a good mount, it gives like very decent stats. And I thought she would be able to handle Wurzak, but I think Wurzak is gonna take the second victory in this matchup. And let's see, 100? No, Wurzak takes the second victory, and it's gonna be 2-0 for Wurzak in the first matches. What a surprise. So these were the two matches I wanted to showcase from round one, and in other matches, Grievous Goldtooth beats Throder Clean, Kroggar beats Morgan, obviously, and Elspeth von Draken beats Malagor. I think Grievous versus Throd was an interesting matchup, but Grievous has a huge anti-large bonus, so Throd was not doing very well there. Let's jump into the second round. Alright, jumping into the first matchup, this is gonna be Kugath Plaguefather versus Kroggar riding his trusty Carnosaur mount. Let's compare again these two and see how they match up. Kugath had again a lot more health, almost 6500 more health, more melee defense, less melee attack, and almost the same weapon strength. So, and he's obviously cheating in the same manner he was cheating in the first game. Kroggar charges with his 114 charge bonus. That is a huge charge bonus. And he also has bonus versus large, so let's see if that's going to help him. Now, Kroggar has a lot of buffs. He has physical resistance, he has speed buffs, he has... I think they had some other buffs, I'm not really sure. He also has Frenzy. So, Kroggar is very well prepared against Kugath, but I think... one issue again that he's riding into, and it's the same issue that Serena Katarine had, is that he just doesn't have a lot of melee defense. And he's also getting poisoned, so his massive weapon strength damage is going a little bit down, but they seem to be fighting pretty equally so far. Obviously, oh, that is a nasty shot. You know, this, I'm not sure like what to do with it, but Kugath Plaguefather, as you can see, he's using his ammunition, and the missile strength is almost like 250. So he's cheating all the time in melee combat, and there's nothing to do that, because it's not really a ranged attack. It's an attack he does anyway, regardless of whether he's fighting in melee combat or not. So Kugath Plaguefather uses his Plaguefather's Oration, which gives him plus 24 melee defense, and Kroggar uses his Deadly Onslaught, a little bit more weapon damage that is negated by Poison, by Slime Trail, by Pestilent Decay. There's just too many factors against him, looks like. He's still trying to beat Kugath Plaguefather, but his health is slowly ticking away, and doesn't seem that he has enough damage to beat Kugath Plaguefather. No, he loses the first matchup. The second matchup is also gonna go the same way, so 2-0 for Kugath Plaguefather in round 2. Let's jump into another match I want to showcase. This is going to be Grievous Goldtooth versus the newcomer to the Warhammer universe, Elspeth von Draken, who is riding her dragon mounts. Grievous Goldtooth is doing surprisingly well. If you compare their stats, he has a lot melee attack, 15 more melee attack, and more weapon strength compared to Elspeth. She also has pretty much the same health, but another big advantage Grievous has, he has plus 25 bonus versus large, and he buffs himself up to almost 1000 melee strength with the Scepter of Titans, plus 75 armor piercing damage, plus 24 bonus versus large. And Elspeth, she has a few buffs. She can heal herself up a little bit. She has plus 40% physical resistance from the Dark Walker, so that's a very nice ability. She also gets debuffed. Minus 24 melee attack from Greases. That is a lot of damage. And she can't use her advantages that much against Greases, who's just he seems to be a machine at 65 melee attack. That is unbuffed. That's without any buffs. So Greases is doing a lot of damage to her. Let's check if she can maybe do something. Yeah, she still has 10% physical resistance, and the pale size doesn't really do much for her. She's down to 2200. Greases is still at 5400 health. He's doing a lot of damage to Elspeth. I don't think she's really a contender for Greases. With his huge anti-large bonus and so much melee attack, yeah, Greases takes a very easy victory in the first and in the second round against Elspeth. Very easy victories for Greases. Go to the surprising contender for the top places in this group. Let's jump into one of the final matches I want to showcase. This is gonna be Tsarina Katarine versus Morga the Shadowgrave. She's riding the Frostworm again. It seems to be a better mount overall, and Morga the Shadowgrave, he doesn't have anything. He doesn't have physical resistance, he doesn't have any armor. He just has a little bit more melee attack, and yeah, compared to Tsarina, much worse stats. So let's see how the battle starts. Tsarina charges into Morga. Morga just flies away. And as you can see, Tsarina is actually Morga. He still has regeneration, so that might play into his favor. But apart from that, a little bit leadership buff, minus vigor per second. Nothing really that useful against Tsarina. Tsarina has standing ground. It gives you a lot more melee defense. And let's begin the battle. Obviously, Tsarina is poisoned, but Morga, he's doing surprisingly okay because he's still regenerating like crazy. And Tsarina, she's doing damage, but she's not doing damage that quickly. Tsarina charges back into the fight, and she's also getting poisoned, so she's not really doing that much to Morga. Let's check if he has the, what's called the Aura of Transmutation. I think that does damage. No, I think there was maybe it was in Warhammer 2. I don't think he has it in this game. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's just fighting with his hands. Surprisingly well. Morga is down to 3400. Tsarina is at 5600. So Tsarina is down to 5300. Let's speed this up a little bit. Morga is still sitting at a very comfortable 3200. Tsarina is down to 3400. 3400. That is 3200. What is Tsarina doing? I'm not sure why, but yeah, she doesn't have a lot of melee defense. She's just 35 melee defense on the Frostworm. That's just probably not enough. It's just not good enough against 55 melee attack that Morga has, and Morga is just regenerating like crazy against Tsarina. Again, she knocks him down, but all the time he's flying back and he's getting up. That's more time for him to get back a little bit of his health. Let's see how this goes. 2000 for Tsarina Katarine, 1200 for Morga. They're very close now. 1600 Tsarina and 1300 for Morga. He's regenerating like crazy all the time. He's obviously wounded, but he still has. His melee attack, melee defense are very good, and he's also poisoning Katarina all the time. Let's see, very close. And I think the fact that Tsarina actually has less weapon damage right now than Morga, and she's not really well armored on this mount. So Tsarina is down to 1000. Morga is at 1400. Let's speed this up a little bit and see. Yeah, Tsarina is not doing too well. Morga is still regenerating all the health, and Tsarina is down to 500. Tsarina is down to 79 health versus almost 1000 for Morga. Can she survive on the 79 health on the Frostworm mount? Which maybe was a mistake after all. It doesn't seem to be very good for Tsarina. No, she loses to Morga of all the, well, I guess not people, but beastmen. What a shame, Tsarina. Come on. What is this? What is this performance? You need to do better for Kislev. I really like Kislev, so I'm hoping they'll get some better results in the future, but that was not good. Let's look at another matchup. I decided to try the Frostworm again for Tsarina. Maybe there was something wrong with the mount, because the Warbear, he has better melee attack and defense stats, but he just doesn't have enough health, and I think against Morga that's going to be a big issue. So Tsarina charges into Morga. She seems to be doing a little bit better this time. Morga is down to 4100, 3800. Yeah, this is much better for Tsarina. She is almost at 7000 health, and Morga is going down very quickly in the repeat matchup, surprisingly. Uh, so I'm not really sure what happened in the first one, but it seems like she just couldn't land any hits on Morga for some reason. But this one, yeah, I think she's gonna take it. Morga's down to 1800. I don't think he's gonna regenerate enough for him to make a comeback. He's down to 1000. Yeah, surprisingly easy victory for Tsarina Katarina in the second matchup, but 1-1 overall. And yeah, not looking good for Tsarina. So these are the matches of the second round. Wurzak loses to Vlad von Karstein. Obviously, Wurzak just couldn't do enough damage. Vlad was regenerating all the time. And Throat the Unclean takes the victory of Malagor. Pretty good start for Kugath Plague Father and Greases Tsarina Katarina. What a surprise. She just got 0.5 points for the draw with Morga of all the people, and Beastman. And Morga he's not even a dedicated melee fighter, so very surprising, and would be very interesting to see the next matchup of Kugath Plaguefather versus Greases Goldtooth. Will the anti-large damage be enough for Greases to take down Kugath? And obviously we're going to have the Beastman matchup, Malagor versus Morga. That's going to be interesting as well. And maybe Tsarina is going to go back into the game and get back some points. She really needs them to qualify. All right, welcome to Group 7, where we have the following participants: Skazbrand the Exiled, Yuan Bo, Cetra the Imperishable riding his War Sphinx, the Demon Prince, one of the harder participants to decide what to do with, because he has 4 marks of the Dark Gods, and he could also be undivided. So in further testing, it seems to be the Mark of Corn is the best one he can have, so he has the Mark of Corn. Then we have Count Noctilus, Alberic, Aranes as Salt Spike, we can take Lord Skrolk, and finally the Changeling as the Changeling. And this is where we need to specify the rules a little bit. The Changeling cannot turn into other characters because that would be complete nonsense, so she is fighting as the Changeling. Let's jump into the first matches. We're gonna start with the opening matchup of Skarsbrand the Exiled versus Alberic de Bordelot. Let's wait for Alberic to charge into Skarsbrand, and Alberic, yeah, 35 melee defense versus 85 melee attack. I don't think that's gonna go good for him. Let's see how the Skarsbrand does in the opener. He's definitely the contender to win this tournament, and before I can even finish this sentence, Alberic is almost down. Skarsbrand actually took a lot of damage. He is down to half health, but that's not good enough for Alberic. He loses the first and the second match against Skarsbrand. Let's look at another replay I want to showcase. This is Quick Head Taker versus Cetra the Imperishable, riding his Cambrian War Sphinx. Let's compare their contenders, and yeah, Quick has almost 60% less health. Now, the only advantage Quick has, he has very good items and he has very good buffs, so maybe he's gonna have enough time to do all the necessary damage to Cetra. He buffs himself up with the Dwarf Gouger, that is plus 24 melee attack, plus 50 armor piercing damage, standing ground. Verminous Valor, he should be doing a lot of damage, but Cambrian War Sphinx knocks him down, and things are not looking good for Quick Head Taker. He's obviously doing damage to Cetra, who doesn't really have that many abilities, but Quick just... yeah, Cetra is down to... oh yeah, he blinded himself. I completely forgot about that. Cetra has one of the abilities that gives you, I think, magical attacks, but it also blinds yourself. He blinded himself down to 0 melee defense, which was horrible against a Quick Head Taker. So let's continue this matchup and see if we can do anything to Cetra. Quick is taking a lot of damage again. He just does... I don't think he has enough health for this matchup. He's down to 1900, Cetra is 3600, and Quick is getting just knocked down again and again. He just doesn't do enough damage quickly enough to beat Cetra. He's taking enough damage again. He's falling back, and let's slow this down. Cetra is 2300 again. Yeah, this is the ability I was talking about. You can debuff yourself. And actually no, that is a debuff from Quick. So minus 40 melee defense, minus 23 armor. That is a lot of debuffs, but Cetra takes the first match, and he's gonna take the second one in a similar fashion. So 2-0 for Cetra. Quick was fighting bravely, but he just didn't have enough health to do enough damage. So in other matches in round 1, Yuan Bo takes a very clear victory over Aranessa's Old Spite. Demon Prince beats Lord Skrolk, obviously, and Count Noctilus beats the Changeling. Nothing really surprising there. Let us jump into round 2. Let's start with the opener of Skarsbrand versus Cetra the Imperishable. Maybe not really a very hard matchup for Skarsbrand, but you know, people just love watching Skarsbrand, and I love watching Skarsbrand as well. He fights really well. It's a very quick, very fast fight. He takes a lot of damage. He does even more damage to his opponent, so let's see how that goes. Yeah, Cetra has a little bit more health than Skarsbrand, but Skarsbrand obviously buffed himself up with Wrathful Reaper, almost to 1000 health, and he also has 20% physical resistance, and he has 85 melee attack. So let's speed this up and see if Cetra can maybe make a comeback against Skarsbrand after pretty well. You don't need a comeback after a good start, but yeah, right now he needs a comeback because Skarsbrand, yeah, he's taking damage, but he's doing a lot more damage to Cetra, and this fight's not really a challenge for Skarsbrand. He wins it, and he's gonna win the second one. So 2-0 for Skarsbrand in this round. Let's look at another match from this round. This is going to be Count Noctilus versus Albrecht de Bordelot. Count Noctilus is riding his Necrophax Colossus. Compared to Albrecht the Bordelot, he has more health, but Albrecht has much better stats and everything, and he also has bonus versus Sludge. So let's see if that's going to help Albrecht. He charges into Count Noctilus, and they start fighting. Now, Count Noctilus doesn't have any abilities he can use, so that is a big disadvantage for him. And Albrecht has a lot of them, so he has damage resistance, he has Foe Seeker, he has Heroic Healing Blow, he buffs up his weapon strength to almost 600, and Count Noctilus seems to be taking quite a bit of damage. Maybe riding his Necrophax Colossus was not the best idea, but that is also a decently good mount. It gives him a lot of weapon strength, a lot of health, and Count Noctilus again tries cheating in our tournament by spawning unit of zombie pirate deckhand mobs, which forced to run away because that is cheating. Count Noctilus, shame on you, you would be disqualified for that. And for such grievous cheating, you're gonna lose the first round to Albrecht the Bordelot, I think. Yes, you will. 1-0 for Albrecht. Let's watch the second round between these two. Now, this time, Count Noctilus, who has been warned that cheating is not allowed in our tournaments, unless you're Cougar's Plague Father or Sisters of Twilight, is fighting on foot this time. Maybe that is also going to help, because this time he has a bonus versus Large on foot versus Albrecht. Albrecht charges into Count Noctilus, and also, if I got to mention, Count Noctilus does have regeneration, so that might help him a little bit. Albrecht charges into him with a lot of melee strength, but he doesn't seem to be able to land a lot of hits on Count Noctilus this time. And Count Noctilus, despite not having any abilities, he seems to be doing a lot more damage actually to Albrecht this time. It's almost the reversal of the first match. Albrecht is, yeah, he has just 35 melee defense. I don't think that's good enough. He has Rally and Foe Seeker, but and the Blessing of the Lady, yeah, this ability is, I guess, just not really good enough. When Count Noctilus, let's check his bonus versus Large. He has plus 20 bonus versus Large, so he can do a lot more damage to Albrecht. And yeah, it seems to be like Count Noctilus without cheating. Yeah, this is what happens when you don't cheat. You start winning. That is a lesson for you, guys and girls. 1-1 for Count Noctilus and Albrecht. A very fun matchup. So in other matches, in Group 7, Yuan Bo wins over the Demon Prince. Aranessa's Allspire manages to beat the Changeling, and Quick Head Taker beats, well, should he be serving to Lord Scroll? I think they're from different clans, but I think Lord Scroll Lord Scroll is higher ranked than Quick Head Taker, but Quick Head Taker takes the escape victory over Lord Skrolk. Very interesting group. I think Skarsbrand's definitely going to take the first place, but it's very unclear what's going to happen next, because we have Yuan Bo, we have maybe Cetra, we have maybe Quick if he manages to perform a little bit better, and the Demon Prince, yeah, he was not doing too bad actually. He had very strong opponents in the base of Yuan Bo, but maybe he's also going to make a very good run in this group, so very interesting to see what's going to happen next. Alright, let's jump into Group 8, and if you thought Group 6 was packed, you have no idea. This time we have Durthu, Nikari, Throg, Belaga, Iron Hammer, Tyrion, who was not ranked too high because despite his very high stats, he doesn't have a lot of health, Red Duke from the Vampire accounts, Valkyria the Bloody, Deathmaster Snitch, Ikit Claw, and the contender for the first place, Hellman Ghost himself, using his whatever mount he has. A very, very packed group. Let's jump into the matches and see how they go. Alright, let's jump into the opener. This is going to be Durthu versus the Red Duke. Let's compare the competitors and see how they stack up. The Red Duke has 2300 less health, lots less melee attack, and Durthu has 20% physical resistance, and he also has magical attacks that, no, they're not really needed against the Red Duke. He also has Friendly, so he charges into Durthu, and let's see how this matchup goes. Also, the Red Duke has Regeneration. Durthu is just a very good lord. He doesn't have many abilities, well, apart from Frenzy. He's debuffed by the Swarm Flies, that is minus 5 melee attack. You see 70 melee attack, 8 melee defense. Yeah, and he is losing by L Sif. Debuffs him to minus 20 physical resistance, minus 40 melee defense. Durthu is taking a lot of damage compared to the Red Duke, so he's down to 5500. The Red Duke is at 4600. He's also taking punishment. Both of them. It's a fun matchup because both of them have very low melee defense. 48 for Durthu and 44 for Red Duke, so not really a lot of melee defense. Let's continue the battle, and I think that's one of the issues with the Red Duke, that once he uses his buffs, he's not really that much of a threat. He cannot buff himself up that much, and Durthu is just a beast of a fighter. He has a lot of armor, a lot of melee attack with magical damage, and he also has the physical resistance, so let's see if that's going to be enough. Red Duke is down to 1600, Durthu is at 3300. Yeah, I think Durthu maybe is going to take that one. It looks like they have the same proportionally amount of health, but yeah, the Red Duke just ran out of buffs. He cannot buff himself up that much, and Durthu doesn't need buffs. He has Frenzy as long as he has more than 50% leadership, which is the whole match. The Red Duke takes another swing and he goes down. He's gonna go down in the first round and also in the second round, so Durthu takes a 2-0 victory over the Red Duke in our opener. Alright, let's jump into the next matchup. This is going to be Nikari himself versus Valkyria the Bloody. Both very strong lords. Valkyria has obviously a lot more armor than Nikari, and a little bit less health, actually a lot less health, just down to 2500 health compared to Nikari. So let's see how these two stack up. Actually, Nikari, I thought he would be one of the top contenders for the prize, so would be very interesting to see his performance. Both lords charge into each other. Actually, well, Valkyria the Bloody charges into Nikari, who just stands on the ground. And Nikari, yeah, he buffs himself up to 1000 damage. Look at that. But for some reason, he cannot just hit Valkyria. Valkyria is debuffed to 15 melee defense. Yeah, there we go. One swing, and there's almost a fifth of Valkyria's health gone. Yeah. He's doing a lot of damage. Now, Valkyria is also a very good combatant. She has the anti-lash bonus versus large 20, and she also has the magical attacks. And let's see if Nikari has physical resistance. Yeah, he has 20% physical resistance, but I mean, they both have magical attacks. So no, Valkyria doesn't have physical resistance. Interesting. She doesn't have any. She just has a lot of armor. Let's speed this match up a little bit. Both are doing a lot damage to each other, but I think Nikari is actually doing a bit more damage. He's, yeah, at 4700 compared to 3100, and yeah, even without the buffs, he's definitely one of the strongest lords, if not for his armor. His abysmal armor is just very low compared to others, so 3900 for Nikari, 3100 for Valkyria the Bloody. Let's see if Valkyria can she take this one? It's hard to say. 3400 for Nikari, 3100 for Valkyria. Nikari seems to be missing a lot of his attacks, and I guess that's because his melee attack is pretty close to the defense that Valkyria the Bloody has. But here comes the debuff. She's down to 15 melee defense. Nikari is doing a lot of damage, and Yeah, he's not getting debuffed by Valkyrie in turn as much, so maybe it's gonna be a little bit easier for him. Valkyrie's down to 1500 compared to 2600. Both of them are almost dead, but it's still looking a little bit better for Nakari. Valkyrie uses her ability, which is the Demon Shield, which gives her invulnerability for 13 seconds. Very useful ability in these matchups. But is it going to be enough to survive Nakari? Nakari is down to 1700 and Valkyrie is at 1598 health. They're very close to each other. Let's see. Nakari is actually missing surprisingly a lot. When he is, that's really painful for Valkyrie. Valkyrie is down to 900, down to 600, and Nakari is still at 1400. So probably Valkyrie is going down in this one. If no, Nakari is down to 1000. Valkyrie is at 600 health, very, very close. If she goes down right now, no, she needs to fight back. Nakari, they're very close. They're both very low in leadership, so any of them can start dying at any moment because they're both demons. And let's see, 300, yeah. Very close victory for Nakari. A surprisingly close matchup considering they were not even in the same tier, at least mentally. When I thought about this matchup, I would never think they would be even close to each other. But yeah, very, very tough victory for Nakari. Let's look at the second matchup between these two. We're gonna speed this up a little bit as Valkyrie again charges into Nakari, and this time, yeah, she does a lot of damage. Look at that. Nakari is down to 5600 very quickly. Valkyrie obviously has her charge bonus, but she also has the Demon Shield that allows her to negate a lot of damage. So she gets into the fight with Nakari. Both are sitting... actually, Nakari is sitting a little bit higher health-wise than Valkyrie the Bloody, and I think, yeah... She does a lot of damage to Nakari. Both of them are going down in a very, very, very similar fashion. Both of them are very low. Let's slow this down and see. 2500 for Nakari, 1600 for Valkyrie. She just took a very big hit from Nakari. Let's watch this match a little bit more. Maybe she can make it better. Yeah, she just doesn't have... Maybe she had like a little bit more health, a little bit more melee defense, or just some way to debuff Nakari or get rid of his belly attack, because when he lands his hits, it's just a lot of damage, and she just doesn't have any way to negate all the incoming damage from Nakari. The Demon Shield is just not enough. She's down to 500 compared to 1700 for Nakari. Maybe this will be a closer matchup than the first one. Yeah, she's using her Demon Shield that negates all the damage. Here's a powerful strike for Nakari. He misses. So 1700 versus almost 600 health. I don't think Nakari has any more debuffs, so he's down to 1000 compared to 600 for Valkyrie the Bloody. Again, a very, very close matchup. It's gonna be, yeah, Nakari lands the final strike in, let's look at this. In a very, very spectacular fashion, he hits the Valkyrie, probably with one of his claws, and yeah, Valkyrie goes down in a very, very, very epic matchup. 2-0 for Nakari, but well done, Valkyrie. Let's look at another matchup. This is going to be Deathmaster Snitch himself versus Throg. Now, Deathmaster Snitch, he's one of my favorite characters in the game and in the lore, but man, 3900 health. 3900 health. He has less health. Yeah, I think he has probably less health than he's probably has less health than Helmut Gorst himself, or even Grand Hierophant Kateb. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I think he has the lowest health pool, maybe out of all the characters. Now, obviously he has a lot of other things going for him. He has a lot of melee attack, melee defense. He also has the Weeping Blade, which reduces the armor of his opponents, and he has the Whirl of the Twisting Blades that he's using, so that is a little bit of AoE damage around him. And the reason why this spell is allowed is because it's targeted around Deathmaster Snitch, so we think that when he uses it, the other lords are not gonna be quick enough to react to that, so we're gonna allow Deathmaster Snitch to use his ability. Let's look at Throg compared to Deathmaster Snitch. Obviously, Throg has a regeneration, so 8 health per second. Pretty good rate, so that is, let's see. So yeah, that's like 500 health a minute, so Throg is gaining a lot compared to that Master Snitch, who needs to do his damage very, very quickly to other opponents because he just doesn't have enough health to survive it. 30 armor, 3900 health. Yeah, that's not good enough. He obviously has physical resistance, but I think that's going to be one of the problems is that all the other lords and a lot of other lords have magical damage, so even that 30% physical resistance is not even going to be good enough for Death Master Snitch. Both of the lords are very close. Throg has a little bit less melee attack and a lot less melee defense, and he also has a bonus versus large, which shouldn't help against Death Master Snitch, who is not large at all. He's a very, very tiny rat. He lands another swing on Throg, and I think, yeah, this is one of the advantages that Death Master Snitch has. He has very good animations. Wait, what? Who? Why? Yeah, Throg takes the victory over Death Master Snitch in a very, very surprising fashion. Look at that. He probably, I'm not sure why. There's not even like an animation. I guess like he just hit him with his, I guess like the handle of the hammer or something. But yeah, 1-0 for Throg. Let's quickly look at the second matchup between these two. Death Master Snitch charges into Throg. Yeah, it takes a little bit of time because Snitch has a stalk, so it takes a while for the other lots to find them, and well, they need to see each other first before they can charge into each other. But this time, Death Master Snitch seems to be doing much better. He does a lot of damage very quickly. He seems to be dodging the strikes that Throg is attempting using his feet. He rolls around, and Throg, yeah, seems to be down to almost half health already. Death Master Snitch is still, even at half health, Throg has more health than Death Master Snitch, but Death Master Snitch seems to be doing much better this time. He's dodging all the strikes. He's hitting Throg, and Throg is just, yeah, he's just not landing any hits. Throg is down to 2600. Death Master Snitch, full health. What is this? Throg is almost wavering. At this point, he is going to use, I think, he does have one of the buffs that makes him unbreakable. He might need that. Actually, maybe not. He's still somewhat doing decently in terms of leadership, but yeah, that's also another thing. Cloak of Shadows gives him less melee defense, but what a difference. The first matchup was so close, and this time, yeah, okay, Throg is making a comeback. Death Master Snitch is taking a lot of damage quickly. Maybe he just got tired after the initial onslaught, and Death Master Snitch, yeah, he's taking damage very quickly. He uses the whirling blades, and Throg is down to 2200. Death Master Snitch is at 1900. A close matchup. Throg is down to 1600. Yeah, if Death Master Snitch just had a little bit more health or amount or anything, Throg is down to minus 55 leadership, and Death Master Snitch takes the victory against Throg. Let's look at him. Death Master Snitch, there he is, using all of his 3 blades to win this matchup 1-1 for Death Master Snitch and Throg. So these were the matchups in round 1 in this super packed group, and in the other 2 matches, Belagar Ironhammer wins against the Kid Claw, and Tyrion, not surprisingly, beats Helman Gorst with a 2-0 victory. Let's jump into the second round. Let's jump into the first match of the second round. This is going to be Durthu versus Belagar Ironhammer. Belagar Ironhammer, I think, is going to brace for Durthu to charge into him. And while he does that and Durthu is slowly charging into him, let's compare these two. Durthu has a lot more health, almost 4,000 more health. Everything else, it looks pretty similar, actually, so just a lot more health for Durthu. Charges into Belagar Ironhammer, representing the dwarves. In this matchup, not a lot of damage done, but yeah, that was a nasty punch for Belagar. Now, Belagar is a very good lord. He can buff himself up to... Look at that. He buffed himself up to 108 melee attack, 84 melee defense, and 700 melee strength. So very, very respectable stats. But I think that's one of problems they might have, that he doesn't debuff other lords. He just buffed himself up. And his weapon damage, yeah, it's not a lot of armor piercing. Durthu has a lot of armor, almost 110 armor. Durthu is just pounding on Belagar. Belagar just cannot do enough damage to Durthu. Yeah, I think he's going to go down because, yeah, he just needs more armor piercing against such strong opponents. And yeah, Belagar Ironhammer goes down. Durthu is going to take the first and the second one, so 2-0 for Durthu in this matchup. Let's look at another match in this group. This is going to be Nikari versus Tyrion. We haven't seen Tyrion before, so let's compare these two. They're both charging into each other very quickly. Tyrion has 5,000 health, which is not a lot, but he has absolutely incredible stats. Let's look at Tyrion. He buffs himself up to 107 melee attack. Yeah, the buff is already gone, but that is still 83 melee attack, 80 melee defense, 107 weapon strength. He also has 20% physical resistance from the Feint and Riposte ability, Standing Grounds, Foe Seeker, Martial Mastery, which also gives him plus 12 melee defense, plus 8 melee attack. And yeah, if you look at his stats, they're just insane. Now, he doesn't have a lot of health. And I think that might be one of the problems in the future, but apart from that, he has almost everything maxed out, lots of armor, lots of melee attack, lots of melee defense, and a very, very respectable 470 melee strength with armor piercing, which is obviously not that useful against Nikari. And he doesn't have magical attacks, which might be useful also against Nikari, but yeah, Nikari doesn't seem to be doing that well. He's taking a lot of damage from Tyrion, and yeah, he just misses a lot of the attacks. Maybe because of the 72 melee defense, that is a lot. That's very hard to break through. Nikari, yeah, is trying to hit Tyrion, but that's not helping. And Tyrion, slowly but steadily, he's damaging Nikari. Actually, no. Actually, Nikari managed to land a few hits on Tyrion, so Nikari is at 3,200. Tyrion is at 3,300. They're both... What are they doing? They're waiting for the moment. Okay, Nikari misses and misses again and misses again. And yeah, Nikari is just not landing a lot of strikes against Tyrion. He is at 2,800. Tyrion 2,900, doing pretty well against Nikari. They're very similar in terms of health, but Nikari seems to be missing a lot of his attacks. He goes down to... Tyrion's down to 2,500, but Nikari is down to 2,200. And also, before this match finishes, let's look at Tyrion, because he has one extra ability. Let's find this one. No, it's not this one, not this one, not this one. Yeah, Heart of Avalon. He's gonna heal 25% of health if he has health. Hit points are less than 25%, and no, that is probably not required in this matchup. Tyrion takes the first victory over Nikari. Let's look at the second match between these two. Both are quickly charging into each other. Tyrion again charging into Nikari. He's so much smaller than Nikari, but again, he has much better stats. Again, Nikari manages to land a few hits on Tyrion. Tyrion seems to be going down in this one. Nikari's down to 5,700. Tyrion is at 2,500. A very close matchup. Nikari loses a few strikes. He's down to 5,400 health. Both of them are very, very close in terms of... Well, Nikari is doing a little bit better. Victory is in his grasp. Tyrion is down to 2,100. Nikari is at almost 5,000 health. That is a lot, and he seems to have learned from the mistakes of the previous round. He's landing a lot of strikes. Tyrion started to waver a little bit, but yeah, his leadership bounces back. Nikari is still at very respectable 4,000 health. Tyrion is down to 1,800 health. Still, his stats are just too good, and if he buffs himself up, that's just it's very hard for other lords to deal with that. Tyrion is down to 1,400 health. Maybe it's time for the what was it called? Where is it? I can't find the icon. The Heart of Avalon. Maybe it's time for that to activate. The guy is down to 3,700, so Tyrion managed to go. Look at that! He heals himself up to 3,400, and the Nikari is at 3,300. So they are very closely matched right now, and the Nikari probably was shocked by that because he took a lot of damage. He took almost 1,500 damage very quickly. Tyrion is still at 2,700. The guy is down to 1,600. Yeah, he just cannot take it. What is this? What is this healing in the middle of the battle? But yeah, that's what Tyrion can do. And the Nikari goes down 2-0 for Tyrion. Well done, Tyrion. I mean, you can bring whatever you want to the match. So, you should ask Nikari, but he doesn't have any healing or regeneration or anything. But yeah, 2-0 for Tyrion. And in the final matches of this group, Throg and the Red Duke go 1-1 against each other. Throg again, the master of draws, cannot score a victory. Death Master Snitch loses to Valkyria the Bloody. He just couldn't do enough damage to her. Quickly enough, he went down first. And then Naked Claw beats Herman Gorst. So we're going to have a very interesting round 3. Durfo versus Tyrion. Red Duke versus Ikit Claw. I guess Red Duke is going to take that one. Deathmaster Snitch will probably win against Helva Ghost. A little bit of a respite for Deathmaster Snitch. Nikari versus Throg. That's going to be interesting. The Master of Damage versus the Master of Regeneration. And finally, Belgar versus Falkia the Bloody would also be another interesting matchup. One of the most fun groups to watch. Alright, let us jump into Group 9 and welcome the participants. They are gonna be Belakor, Rakath, Estragon Ironhand, Manfred von Karstein, Lord Mazdamandi, Kasteltin, the Redeemer, Scrag the Slaughterer, Repan, Stick-Tac-Toe, and finally Mother Ostenkia, who came as a mother to watch her children battle in this tournament and take part in that herself. So let's jump into the matches. We're gonna start with the first one. This is gonna be Belakor versus Kasteltin, the Redeemer. Now, let's compare these two. Belakor has regeneration, but so does Kasteltin, as any you who have played him know that he has a few of his abilities focused on regeneration, on melee attack, getting a little bit of vigor back, and getting his Leviathan Unbreakable. So, Belkor has a lot more health and same melee attack, 70 melee attack, that is a lot, but he has better melee defense. Kastaltin has just 40 melee defense, and that's very low amount, so both of them get into battle, but he also has flaming attacks that is very useful against Belkor. No, Belkor also has the Shadow Shroud, which is 60% ward save for 22 seconds. That is a lot of time to negate the damage from his opponents. He starts pummeling on Kastaltin, and let's see if Kastaltin can make a comeback in this one. He already needs the comeback against Belkor. He is down to 3800, and he needs to wait until his cooldowns come back. But maybe that's not going to be enough for Kastaltin. He really needs his melee attack. He really needs his regeneration to do anything against Belkor. He has Blaze of Devotion, which gives him +5 melee attack. That might help him a little bit. He also has Frenzy, and the Brazen Mace of Urson gives him a little bit more damage. He does a lot of damage, which is a good thing, but the problem again, as well as we know, is that you still need to have defense in this tournament. Competitors without a lot of defense, you either need to do a lot of damage very quickly, or heal yourself up, or to do something. And Kastaltin doesn't seem to be doing a lot of damage. Actually, let's look at that. No, Belkor doesn't have healing. He does have, I guess he has some other form of regeneration, because it says that he has regeneration, but yeah, he has 20% physical. Oh, he also has 20% physical resistance. Yeah, that is a lot of physical resistance. I don't think he has regeneration, but it shows that he does. Maybe when their opponents are wavering, I think it's something like that, right? Yeah. When the opponents are wavering, he has the regeneration. So Kastaltin is not wavering. He, I think, got his abilities. Yeah, he got the melee attack buff. He got his... no, they're not getting good enough. So Belkor takes the first and the second win over Kastaltin, 2-0 for Belkor in the first round. Let's look at another matchup in this group. This is gonna be Manfred von Karstein versus Tic-Tac-Toe, the battle in the skies. Let's look at both of them. Manfred's very respectable 7400 health. Kind of average melee attack, melee defense, maybe a little bit on the lower side. And Tic-Tac-Toe, 4400 health, definitely not the highest healthful, but 120 charge bonus, 70 melee attack, 65 melee attack, 100 melee defense, 507 weapon strength. That is a lot. And I think he also has physical resistance. Yeah, 20% that Manfred cannot break through because he doesn't have magical attacks, and he doesn't have any abilities that he can use. So let's see how this matchup goes. Tic-Tac-Toe is flying around Manfred, and Manfred, yeah, he's taking a lot of damage. Tic-Tac-Toe, despite his small health ball, is dodging everything Manfred is throwing him. Again, 46 melee attack, 46 melee defense. Not good enough. Manfred, you need to step up. Yeah, 520 melee weapon strength is a good thing, and he also has regeneration, but apart from that, I don't think it's going to be that easy for Manfred. He just cannot land any strikes against the flying menace that is Tic-Tac-Toe, that is buffing himself up all the time. Let's look at Tic-Tac-Toe closely. He has the Mask of Hammers, which gives him more armor, a little bit more armor, and he has the Master of Disguise, which gives him +40 melee defense. That is a lot of melee defense. He's fighting with Manfred. Let's see if this is golden matchup. Yeah, they're almost at the same amount of health, but Manfred, proportionally wise, he's down to maybe his last, I would say, quarter of a health, I guess. Let's speed this up a little bit and see how this matchup goes. Tic-tac-toe just flying above Manfred. Manfred cannot land any hits. Manfred is down to 600, 800. No, Manfred loses this matchup to Tic-tac-toe, and he's also gonna lose the second one. So 2-0 victory for Tic-tac-toe in the Battle of the Skies. He is the master of the skies. Let's look at the other results in this first round. Rokath is going to win 2-0 against Reskrag, the Soldier. Estrogoth, Iron Hand, representing the Chaos Dwarfs, beats Repans. And Repans, you will see maybe if we showcase you any future matches with Repans that she just doesn't have enough health, and that is again the problem that a lot of competitors have in this tournament. And finally, Lord Mazdamundi riding his. I think he's running his Stegadon. We'll need to check that, but he beats Mother's Donkey 2-0. So, a few matches. Unexpected victory for Tic-Tac-Toe in the first round for sure, but other contestants are performing pretty much as expected, so let us jump into the second round. Let's start with the first match of the second round. This is going to be Belacor versus Astrogoth Iron Hand, waiting for him on his 2 iron mechanical feet as Belacor slowly charges into him. Astrogoth Iron Hands. Yeah, if you compare these two, Belacor has a lot more health, but he doesn't have as much armor, and he has better stats overall, but 130 armor, that is a lot for Belacor, and he also has, for Astrogoth, and he also has magical attacks, and he has mechanical overdrive, which is not going to help him in this matchup. Belacor charges into him, uses a Shield of Darkness, doing a lot of damage to Astrogoth. Astrogoth has his Black Hammer of Shoot, giving him a very respectable amount of damage, but he's also he has so many debuffs. The Dark Master gives him only 20 melee attack, and Belacor obviously has his Shield of Darkness, the 60% ward save, so Astrogoth, on the other hand, doesn't seem to be able to land any strikes on Belacor in time. Let's see how this match continues. Astrogoth is down to 2900. Belacor is sitting at a very comfortable 7800 health. And yeah, I think Astrogoth just took a lot of damage too quickly, and he's not going to have enough time to make a comeback. I think he's going to go down in this one. And yeah, this debuff, just a 20 melee attack. Yeah, that's very hard to deal with. So 1-0 to Belacor, and he's going to win the second matchup as well. 2-0 for Belacor in this one. Let's look at another match from the competitors we haven't seen so far. This is going to be Rakath versus Lord Mazdamundi. Now, let's compare these two and see that Lord Mazdamundi has a lot more health, but less melee attack, less melee defense, and yeah, Lord Mazdamundi, he is definitely not going to fight himself. There's no way that's going to be better than riding his trusty... Who is that? I think that is a Stegadon, right? I'm pretty sure that... I think it's called Zladox or something like that, right? But yeah, he has a little bit more melee defense. And here's our card. Let's look at him. He has very good stats. 55 melee attack, 56 melee defense. I think he's going to buff himself up. Yeah, he has Beast Armored of Carrot Car, which gives him 10% ward save and 10 melee defense when a large enemy is in his presence. Plus 25 melee attack, 25% armor piercing weapon damage, 16 bonus versus large, and then also 10% ward save on top of that. He's up to 700 melee damage. That is a lot. And yeah, Rakath, he doesn't look like that much good of a melee lord, but he can buff himself up to just incredible amounts, sitting at incredible 560 weapon strength with a bonus versus large and a lot of protection against large opponents and very good melee attack, melee defense. Lord Mazdamundi obviously has a lot of health, but he doesn't have much else going for him. Primal Instincts, they're not going to be good enough, and Rakath takes 1-0 and then 2-0 over Mazdamundi. Let's jump into the next match. This is going to be the Flying Terror in the Skies Tic-Tac-Toe versus Castaltin. He charges at very incredible speed into Castaltin, 900 speed. Gonna buff his charge. Yeah, there it is. He goes right into Castaltin, and Castaltin takes quite a bit of damage in the first attack. But as you remember, Castaltin has very good buffs from Kislev, as he is a Kislevite Patriarch. He can regenerate himself. He gets plus 40 melee attack, and maybe he can use those to his advantage. Castaltin starts fighting Tic-Tac-Toe. Castaltin didn't really actually take that much damage. He's down to 4800, but Yeah, 4500. Tic-Tac-Toe is not really doing that much damage to Castaldian for some reason, and they seem to be. Yeah, I think that's because Castaldian also has a lot more melee attack than Manfred had. He's also damaging Tic-Tac-Toe a little bit. Castaldian is down to 3600, but yeah, his regeneration kicks up again. 1%, almost 1% health per second for 15 seconds. That is a lot. And Tic-Tac-Toe doesn't have any regeneration. He's down to 2200 versus 36 for Castaldian, 32 for Castaldian. But yeah, a close matchup between these two. 1300 for Tic-Tac-Toe, but Castaldian regenerated himself back to 3200. That is a lot of health that Tic-Tac-Toe needs to deal with, and I think that's one of the advantages Castaldian has, is that if his opponents don't do the damage quick enough, he's gonna be able to regenerate the damage in the matchups, and they're gonna have to do it again, and Tic-Tac-Toe doesn't have enough time to do the damage. That's gonna be 1-0 and then 2-0 for Castaldian versus Tic-Tac-Toe. So, in the final matches in this round 2, Manfred is gonna go 1-1 versus Rabans. Surprisingly, Rabans is a very good fighter, and I think we're gonna showcase you Rabans in the some of the future matches. And Scrag the Slaughterer beats Mother Stankia. No surprises there. Very interesting group. Rakath is doing surprisingly well, and he's gonna face off Be'lakor in round 3. Manfred von Karstein is going to try his hand against Scrag the Slaughterer, and I guess the leader of Vampire Counts needs a few points to get back into the game. Castaldian is going to try fighting Lord Mazdamandi, and Estrogoth Ironhand is going to see if he can deal with the menace in the sky that is Tic-Tac-Toe. Very fun group. Alright, let us jump into the last group, Group 10 of this tournament, and let's see the competitors that are in this group. They're going to be Wolfric the Wanderer, Archaeum the Ever-Chosen, Zhao Ming, Boris Ursus, Epidemius, Sarthoriel the Everwatcher, Jatan the Black, Festus the Leech Lord, Grom the Paunch, and finally the much advertised Grand Hierophant Katep, using the Steed mount, not the Casket of Souls, because in his testing, it turned out the Steed is usually his best mount, so he's gonna try to ride the Steed in the matches and see maybe if he can score 1 or 2 victories. Would be very interesting to see that. Let us jump into the matches. Alright, let's jump into the first match. This is gonna be Archaeon the Ever-Chosen versus Jatan the Black, riding Lamasu out of his 2 available mounts. Lamasu actually seems to be doing better than the Bale Taurus, and she also has the magical attacks that are very useful against his opponents. He's going to charge against Archaeon the Ever-Chosen. Look at him. 7,000 health, 80 melee attack, 60 melee defense, almost 500 melee strength. He buffs himself up to 870 melee strength and 80 melee attack. He has so many buffs and debuffs they can hardly fit on this one, but let's look at them. He has Frenzy, he has the Slayer of Kings, that is his weapon he's using. The Armor of Morka, plus 24 melee defense and charge reflection. And yeah, it seems to be very hard to land any strikes on Archaeon Jatan the Black. He's doing his best, but I don't think it's going to be good enough against Archaeon, and he just doesn't do enough damage on the Lamaso. Now, he could maybe have used the Bale Taurus, but I don't think that would really change the results of Archaeon, who has better stats in pretty much all the categories, so very easy victory for Archaeon in the first round, and also in the second. Archaeon is going to start this group by winning 2-0 against Jatan the Black. Let's look at one of the more interesting matchups in Group 1. This is going to be, sorry, in Group 10. In the first round, it's going to be Boris Ursus himself versus Grom the Punch. Let's compare these two. And Boris Ursus has a lot more health, better melee attack, a lot more melee defense. He also has bonus versus large, and he has a lot of buffs, as you're going to see very soon. He has Deadly Onslaught that he uses to charge into Grom. Grom also has a few, so he can buff himself up to 88 melee attack. But look at that. Boris Ursus goes to 79, 80 melee defense, 730 weapon strength, and Grom is regenerating a little bit. He has also very nice buffs. Plus 44 melee attack, plus 40% damage resistance. But yeah, both of them are down a little bit, and yeah, looks like they're very closely matched, I guess, in stats. But Boris maybe has... No, actually, not really. Also, you can see that when Grom's buffs are gone, he's not really doing that well. 40 melee attack, 35 melee defense. Yeah, that's not good enough. And Boris is sitting at very comfortable 50 melee attack, 55 melee defense, and he also has magical attacks that are not needed against Grom, but I think he has just better stats, and he also has 25 bonus versus Lash, so I think he's just a little bit better than Grom, and he's gonna take this match. And he's also gonna take the second one, so 2-0 for Boris Erskine in the opener of Group 10. So in other matches in round 1, Wulfric the Wanderer is gonna beat Sarthoriel the Everwatcher, Zhao Ming is gonna beat Fastos the Leech Lord, and Epidemius is gonna beat Grand Hierophant Katep, not really surprisingly. So let's jump into round 2. Alright, let's jump into the first match. This is gonna be Zhao Ming versus Wulfric the Wanderer. Zhao Ming is gonna transform into the dragon, I think, in this matchup. Yeah, he is, and then he's gonna slowly charge into Wulfric. Now, Wulfric was one of the top-rated lords by Elo, and I think that's thanks to his 14,000 health. That is a lot of health. He also has kind of decent melee. Actually, not really decent. They're not really that good, the melee attack and the melee defense, but he has 525 melee strength. Weapon strength, he goes up to 665. Yeah, he can buff himself up a little bit to 62 melee attack. But Zhao Ming, I don't think he has any buffs. He is debuffed by Wulfric down to minus 30 armor, minus 40 melee defense, and he's going to take quite a bit of damage in the opening of this match. Let's speed this up a little bit. Zhao Ming is down to 5,000 health, and Wulfric is still sitting very comfortably at a lot of health. He also has 4% physical resistance for some reason. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, this is coming from Rage, which can give him up to 10% physical resistance and up to 5 melee attack. So let's continue this match. Wulfric is out of his buffs, and I think that might actually turn this in favor of Zhao Ming. Zhao Ming is dodging all the attacks Wulfric has. Wulfric is down to 9,000 health, down to 800, 700. Zhao Ming is landing his strikes. He's down to 3,400, but yeah, a close matchup. Wulfric, I think without his buffs, he just can't land. He needs to wait for his buffs to land the melee strikes, because without them, this is just not good enough to land the strikes of Zhao Ming. Again, Zhao Ming is debuffed to just 10 melee defense, so maybe that will help a little bit. For Wulfric to win this match, Zhao Ming is generating a little bit, so he's using the Burning Van Braces. They give him plus 8 health per second for 4 seconds, so that's plus 32% of health, and then plus 40% damage resistance for 20 seconds. That is a huge buff. I don't think Wulfric was ready for that one. He seems to be taking a lot of damage. They both the equal amount of health, but obviously equal is not good enough for Wulfric. He just doesn't have good enough stats to continue the matchup. He doesn't have any regeneration. Both of them at very similar health, but Wulfric is down to he's down to 1,500. Zhao Ming is at 2,500. Zhao Ming seems to be taking this one again thanks to the healing Van Braces that give him healing and damage reduction. It seems to be victory for Zhao Ming. So Zhao Ming takes the first and the second match against Wulfric the Wanderer, 2-0 for Zhao Ming. And let's look at one of the more interesting matchups from the second round. This is going to be Boris Ursus versus Archaon, the Ever-Chosen. Let's compare these two. And Archaon is just better in everything. He has more melee attack, melee defense. He doesn't have a bonus versus large, but he has armor piercing damage, and he has 10% physical resistance, so both of them charge into each other. A lot of damage. For Boris Ursus, almost a third of his health is gone completely, but Archaon also took a lot of damage. He's down to 4,700, Boris is 3,300. Both of them doing a lot of damage to each other. Yeah, this is going to be one hell of a matchup. Boris is down to 2,600. Archaon is at 3,500. Again, Archaon might go down in this one if he can. No, I think Boris is going to go down first. Boris is just a little bit worse than Archaon. Maybe if he can land a few lucky strikes against Archaon, he's down to 1,200. Archaon is down to Archaon is he still has a third approximately of his health left, and Boris is down to 1,200 health. Now maybe Boris can activate his Kiss Levite ability, and that's gonna help him. Yeah, but Boris, no, I don't think that's gonna be enough. Archaon is down to 2,200, and Boris is down to 900 health. Archaon is just doing a lot of damage to Boris. I don't think Boris is gonna recover from this one. Boris is down to 540 health. Arcane is down to 1900. So the Ever-Chosen is not really doing too well, but he's still doing better than Boris. And yeah, victory for Archeon. Let's look at the second matchup between these two. Boris again is charging on his Erskine into Archeon. There he is. Both of them charging each other, take a lot of damage. Boris is down to 4,000 health. Archeon is down to 5,200. Yeah, their charge bonuses are just the same. They're actually the same. They have 104 charge bonuses, both of them. But Boris took a lot more damage than Archeon. He's down to 2,600 health. Let's speed up this matchup a little bit and see if Boris maybe can make a comeback. He's sitting at 2,200. Archeon is at 3,400. Boris is 1,800. No, I don't think that's going to be, again, enough for him. He's going to activate his Kiss the Right ability of Unbreakable. Archeon is down to 1,600, so well done, Boris. 1,300, 900, but no, that's not going to be good enough. 2-0 for Archeon, but well done, Boris. A very close matchup. Let's look at the other matches that happened in this group. Epidemius is going to take a 2-0 victory over Sartorial, the Everwatcher. Jordan the Black beats Grand Hierophant Katap, who we're definitely going to showcase you in the future matches. And then Grom the Punch makes a little bit of a comeback and beats Fastest the Leash Lord. So we're going to have a few interesting matchups in the next round. Archeon is going to try to see if he can beat Zhao Ming, or maybe Zhao Ming is going to actually try to see if she can finally dismantle the title of the Ever-Chosen. Grand Hierophant Katap is fighting Fastest the Leash Lord, should be an easy one for Fastest. Epidemus versus Boris, that would be an interesting one, and we can also showcase you the new Lord of the Total War Universe. Sartorial is going to fight Grom the Punch. I have no idea where this one's going to go. And finally, Wolfric the Wanderer will fight Jaden the Black, representing the Chaos Dwarfs. And we'll see, maybe Jaden can make a comeback after not a very good start. Obviously, a victory over Grand Hierophant Katap is good, but he lost to Archeon, and yeah. Well, I guess like everybody would lose to Archeon. I don't think that's really an issue for Jaden, but yeah, let's see if Jaden can make a comeback. And these are all the matches for day 1. We've seen all the rounds, the first and the second round in all the groups. So thank you very much for watching, and then we will continue with day 2.